All right, let's jump right into it. Picture this. You're walking onto a dealership lot. You see it right there. The exact car you've been dreaming of. It's got the right color, the perfect interior, and you can practically smell that new car scent. But then, a familiar feeling of anxiety creeps in. The credit check. It's the one hurdle standing between you and driving off that lot, and for so many people, it's just incredibly stressful because it feels like a total mystery. Well, welcome to this explainer. Today we're going to completely demystify car lease credit scores. We're using insights directly from the experts at VIP AutoPA to build you a step-by-step roadmap to financial readiness. By the end of this, you won't just be guessing if you can get approved, you are going to know exactly how to prepare.
So, before you even think about picking up the phone or heading to a dealer, let's tackle the massive elephant in the room. What credit score is actually needed to lease a car? I mean, it's the foundation of the entire leasing process, and yet there is just so much conflicting information out there.
And here it is, the golden number, 700. Now, 700 isn't just some random passing grade. It's what industry experts call the sweet spot. When your score crosses that 700 threshold, doors really start opening up for you. You're looking at securing significantly better deals, much lower monthly payments, and suddenly you might actually find yourself qualified for a nicer, more premium car than you initially thought. This number right here, this is your ideal baseline target.
Here is our roadmap for today. 1. The credit score sweet spot. 2. Decoding the credit tiers. 3. What lenders really want. 4. How to boost your score. And 5. Ready to lease.
Section 1. The credit score sweet spot, the baseline for leasing.
Now, while 700 is that ideal target we just talked about, it's really important to know that a decent score around 670 or higher is usually enough to get the ball rolling without too much friction. Think of your credit score like your financial report card. A high score above 700 tells lenders you're highly reliable. That basically gets you the red carpet treatment, the absolute best lease options, and minimal down payments. Conversely, if you have a lower score, let's say in the 600 to 650 range, you can absolutely still get approved. It's just going to be a bit trickier. A lower score generally means it's going to cost you more money up front, requiring larger security deposits, or you might just have to settle for a vehicle that's a little less flashy.
This whole idea is captured perfectly in a quote from our source material. It says, "A higher score basically tells lenders, hey, I'm reliable, I'll pay." That is literally the entire secret to this system. Lenders, they aren't judging you personally, right? They are purely assessing the level of risk involved in handing you the keys to a depreciating asset. Higher score equals lower risk, which equals a better deal for you. It really is that straightforward.
Section 2. Decoding the credit tiers. Where do you stand?
Okay, now that we know why the score matters, let's help you figure out exactly where your credit profile fits into the larger landscape. Up at the top, we've got excellent credit. That's 740 and above. This gets you the most competitive rates and minimal down payments. Just below that is very good, sitting at 700 to 739, securing those excellent deals. Then we have good at 670 to 699, where you'll generally get approved with totally reasonable rates. Now, if you're in the fair tier, 600 to 669, approval is still very much on the table, but prepare for slightly higher payments or maybe a limited vehicle selection. Even down in the subprime category, 580 to 619, approval is possible. It just usually requires a substantial down payment. If you're below 580, which is categorized as poor, it does become challenging, often requiring a cosigner. But please notice this, a lower score does not mean impossible. It just means you need to adjust your strategy and your expectations.
Section 3. What lenders really want, beyond the score.
Here's a little industry secret for you. That 3-digit score, it's really just a starting point. It gets your foot in the door, but lenders actually zoom out to look at a much broader financial picture before they hand over the keys. And one of the absolutely most critical elements of that bigger picture is your debt-to-income ratio. This is just a fancy metric lenders use to evaluate if you have enough income coming in to comfortably cover a brand new lease payment right alongside all the financial obligations you already have. Stuff like rent, a mortgage, or student loans. A low ratio proves to lenders that you aren't financially overextended. It shows them, clear as day, that you have the breathing room in your budget to take on this new car without defaulting.
But wait, they don't stop there. Lenders are really just looking for consistency to build their confidence in you. They want to see a stable income level. Are you making a predictable amount of money? They look at steady employment history. Have you been at your job for a while, or are you bouncing around a lot? And if it applies to you, they'll look at your past leasing history. If you've leased before and made all your payments on time, that is a massive green flag for a lender. All of these factors stack up alongside your credit score to paint a complete portrait of your financial reliability.
Section 4. How to boost your score. Taking action. Okay, we've talked a lot about the theory of how lenders judge you. Now let's talk about how you can actually take control, climb those credit tiers we looked at earlier, and make yourself the ideal candidate. Building your credit score requires implementing specific, strategic financial habits over time. Step 1 is the most foundational. Pay your bills on time every single time. Late payments can literally tank your score overnight. Step 2, reduce your credit card balances. Step 3 is super crucial. Avoid opening multiple new accounts right before you apply for a lease. Every time you apply for new credit, it creates a hard inquiry that temporarily lowers your score. And step 4, keep your old accounts open. The longer your credit history, the better it looks. So please don't close that old credit card you've had for 10 years just because you rarely use it. Speaking of reducing credit card balances, I really want this next number to stick in your head: 30%. This is your target credit utilization ratio. You should always aim to keep your credit card balances below 30% of your total credit limit. So for example, if you have a card with a $10,000 limit, try not to carry a balance higher than $3,000. Keeping it below this 30% threshold works like absolute magic for your credit score because it loudly demonstrates to lenders that you manage your available credit responsibly, without just maxing it all out.
You know, building credit isn't just about paying your bills on time. It's actually about playing defense, too. You have to actively defend the score you have. You need to utilize credit monitoring services. Review your reports regularly. Why? Because mistakes happen. You need to quickly address any errors or inaccuracies on your report that could be artificially dragging your score down. And of course, monitoring helps you immediately identify any fraudulent activities. Ultimately, you have to be the guardian of your own credit history.
Section 5. Ready to lease? Next steps. So, you've checked your score, you understand the tiers, your finances are looking good. How do you actually approach a dealership without getting taken for a ride? Well, the absolute best piece of advice from our source material today is this: call a trusted car lease company and ask exactly what they need before you ever set foot in the dealership. It sounds almost too simple, right? But it is incredibly powerful. Every dealership and lender has their own specific rules. By calling ahead, you get a crystal clear idea of their requirements. This one proactive step prevents massive headaches, wasted time, and that terrible awkwardness of getting to a finance desk only to realize you don't have the right paperwork or the required score for their specific promotions.
To give you an idea of what you should be looking for when you make those calls, our source material highlights VIP Auto PA in Pennsylvania as a pretty textbook example of a top-tier leasing company. Once you meet the credit criteria, you should be seeking out companies that offer transparent pricing with absolutely no hidden fees. You want expert support and personalized vehicle sourcing to find the exact car you're looking for. Look for places offering true zero-down lease deals. And honestly, most importantly, you want an environment with no pushy salespeople or exhausting haggling. When your credit is right, you have the power to demand this kind of premium, industry-class service.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final question to chew on. What is your next financial move? The roadmap is literally right here in front of you. Whether your score is sitting comfortably above 700 or you need to spend the next few months aggressively paying down balances and disputing errors, the power is entirely in your hands. Don't let the credit check be a mystery that causes you anxiety. Go check your score today, see exactly which tier you fall into, and start taking the action necessary to drive away in the car you've been dreaming of. Thank you so much for joining me to demystify car lease credit scores, and I highly encourage you to take that very first step today.